Oh, I should actually get out of it just in case.
Get out of what? Oh yeah. It's probably
Because the last time.
Oh, I know you'll have that crazy
echo thing.
Echo thing. That's right. It'll be like echo bass, and you'll be riding a tauntaun.
Echo bass riding a tauntaun. You're funny. Oh, Matt just sent you a thing.
What did he send? Sorry.
It's a Zoom thumbnail layout. Blah 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 blah. So you can move the thumbnails out of the way, so you can at least move it to the bottom right.
Okay, well, our Zoom is running here. Let's just where did he send it? I don't even see it.
In Slack.
Oh, I was just looking.
It literally says at Rob here. At least you can move it to bottom right. It's the message above yours. In general.
Like seriously, I'm looking in general. I don't have it.
Okay, hold on. Un second.
What the hell just happened?
Just wait. I'm resharing his message in general. Share. There.
Okay.
Look under my response.
Yep. No, I got that one immediately.
All right, well. And you see his link?
I'm loading it up as we speak.
Okay, beautiful.
But you know what? I don't even need to do this now. What I'll like, I can. Sorry, give me a second.
Yeah.
I can. What I should be doing is doing this, because this is where we're going to start. Oh crap! I don't really want to do that. That's dangerous. There we go. No,
excuse me.
This, and there we are. Okay. So here's our starting point.
All right. Let me just.
Matt, yeah, hopefully you can hear this. I will start. I'll have a look at that when I get a chance.
Have you started streaming to the YouTube? Oh,
yes,
okay.
I have.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can hear this. And yes, I just.
All right.
Just give me a second.
Yeah. No. Oh, what did I just do? I just did something I didn't mean to do.
I just asked them if we're picture in picture, so let's see what they say.
Okay.
I mean, if we're not, to me, we are, right? But
to me, you and I are two little squares on top of the slide.
Yeah, see, that would be much preferable. If we're picture in picture right now, it's going to cover up a little bit. Okay, yes, we are. Matt says, yes, we are picture in picture. Okay, so what I'm going to do is look at Matt's link and try and fix that once we're done this. So that we don't have to take up all of these guys' precious time. And now we are ready to go. Are you ready to go?
Sure. I'm very excited.
So I'm going to go stop share.
Oh, what did I just do? Hold on. Wait.
For me, you are upper right. Yes, James, for us, we are also upper, for at least for me, we are upper right. So I think I'm seeing exactly what's being streamed over the YouTube. And if I want to change that, if I manage to change it for my own view, it will change it for everybody's view. I think. Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's fire. You're on.
Hello. Sorry, am I just starting?
Yep.
I was about to start and then you started talking.
As soon as I stop sharing that screen, you're on.
I forgot that was the
That's okay.
The key. All right.
We've done this for a few days, so.
Hello to all you wonderful Canadian soccer supporters, and welcome to the first of what we hope will be many Voyageurs live events. I'm Kristen Knowles at KZ Knowles on the Twitters, and I'm from Toronto. Please don't hold that against me.
And I'm Rob Notenboom. You can find me at FR the Black Hole on Twitter, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. Great to see everybody, kind of.
He's so enthusiastic. Anyways, thank you all for joining us this evening for our special Voyagers event. We've got a lot happening on this show. First off, Rob and I will go over what's been happening with the Voyagers over the past year, 14 months, and what will be happening with the Voyagers in the coming months. And then we're going to have two previously recorded interviews with members of the men's and women's national teams. And by now, hopefully you know that that will be Samuel Piet and Janine Becky. Yay. And including one of those videos will be in both official languages. And then to finish the night off after the interviews, Rob and I will be taking your questions. That's right, a live Q&A. Please be gentle with us. You can submit your questions at sli.do using the following code.
I'm working on it.
It'll come up on the slide any second now.
Hopefully.
It will, have faith.
There you go.
Perfect. So there's the code. There's the site you just need to go to and submit your questions. We'll get to as many of the questions as we possibly can, and we apologize in advance for any that we don't. So let's get going. First off, thank you. We'd want to say thank you to a lot of people. Thank you to Canada Soccer for arranging the player interviews for us. We really appreciate how helpful they were in getting us connected with the members of the national team and facilitating the calls. Thank you to everyone that completed the survey that we put out in the winter and that has shown interest in the Voyagers and our current reorganization. It was so heartening to see how many people were interested in the group and in its future. Thank you to everyone that has helped with various volunteer jobs over, I don't even know how many years, the last many years, to put it really poorly, to setting up displays at matches across the country, handing out flyers, flags, lyrics, working the merch table before national team matches, and more. We know it's a labor of love, and we love you for it. Finally, and a mere thank you seems like not nearly enough because, well, it's not. But truly a massive thank you to Jamie McLeod, who has worked tirelessly and has financially supported the Voyagers for a decade or more. From getting tickets in the hands of supporters and often missing parts of matches while he waits in the pub for people to show up for their tickets, to coordinating group displays, again, across the country, to shipping out banners, to shipping out flags, to sometimes making Voyagers merchandise in his apartment, and who started us on this path to reorganization. Thank you, Jamie. We owe you.
So what's been going on? Let's turn to what we've actually been doing in over the last 14 months or so. What's been going on is a massive amount of growth and development in Canadian soccer on the Canadian soccer landscape. Besides the 3 MLS teams, we now have Canadian Premier League, League One Ontario, PLSQ, maybe BC League One soon, hopefully. We have teams competing in PDL and UWS, and we have more Canadian men and women internationals playing important roles at top clubs than ever before. Oh, and then there's the small matter of Canada hosting the 2026 World Cup. Because of this growth and development, the Voyagers need to grow and develop as well.
And now for the less exciting things, but still necessary details. So the Voyagers are now a registered nonprofit, and that's a move that came out of an AGM of sorts back in 2015 that was initiated by Jamie from a desire to put the Voyagers on a more stable footing. The original nonprofit agreement lists Jamie as the single director, and this was a placeholder agreement until a larger group could be formed. And it's taken some time, but we're all set up. We've got the corporate returns done, the financials are up to date, and now it's time for us to start the steps that are necessary to create the organization itself. Simply put, we need a governance structure to take the group into the future and to accomplish, the many tasks at hand, both in the present and looking forward 5 years, 10 years, and further down the road. So here's how we get here.
So yeah, how do we get there? Step one is to build a membership. Before we get into membership, I think it's important for us to communicate some of our disposition on what we're trying to do here. So how do we get to membership and what does it entail? We need to acknowledge a few things. Because Canada is geographically huge, because voyageurs live everywhere from Canada's smallest towns to its largest cities, because the competition calendar for our national teams is very irregular and concentrated in only a few venues for home games, we realize that not everyone will get the same benefits from membership, and there isn't much we can do to even it out as the voyageurs. Access to supporter sections is one of the most important benefits, but there are plenty of people who may never get to see a game live. However, we are committed to creating a membership situation that people feel is worthwhile despite all these issues.
So there will be a membership drive sometime in the coming months. And it was very clear from the survey results that the vast majority of people were not only willing to become official members of the Voyageurs supporters group, but that they were willing to pay an annual membership fee for an as of yet undetermined list of benefits. We haven't finalized the details entirely. We're all volunteers. We all have crazy lives, and we know you all have crazy lives right now. This last year has been a lot. And we thank you for hanging in. It's good. But we are planning to build this membership sometime within the next few months. So membership benefits will include, but not be restricted to, the following: priority access to supporter section tickets, because we love having you guys there in the stands, singing, chanting, jumping, shouting, crying, laughing, and sharing your experiences. It's the best thing. And you all know that. It's wonderful.
Swearing.
Swearing, well, yeah. Notification of Canadian national team games and events associated with them. So, like we said, tickets in the supporter sections, but also watch parties, whether it be in the pub in your hometown or virtually via Zoom or via a YouTube live stream. Um, Post and pre-match get-togethers, or pre and post. It's probably better to do it in that order. Because that's, again, it's so great to see people you haven't seen in years in a lot of the cases. Like, oh my gosh, you made it to this, or hey, you flew out for this, and you get to really connect with your fellow voyageurs and make new friends. Ability to vote in the Voyageurs elections and run for election or volunteer for a number of Voyageurs positions, because there's going to be so much work to be done that a board of directors alone isn't going to be able to accomplish that. And a yearly collectible. And that's something that we're pretty excited about. And we've been doing some research into some really cool things that we think you guys will love. We're also hoping to have, more regular communication with you guys. So when we sent out the survey, we asked, if you'd like to be contacted via email for regular communication. And tons of you gave us your email addresses. But if you didn't at the time and you still want to, you'll see there's a slide at the end of the presentation where you can send us your email address so we can put you on the list. And those newsletters will give you updates on Voyageurs events, the team calendar, hopefully player, maybe referee and coach updates and little snippets, just stuff that we want to keep everybody looped in on and make sure that we're all talking to one another on a more regular basis.
Yeah, and then after the membership is built. So the next step will be to fill out the organization itself. Our plan is to have 5 elected positions with the typical titles that you would expect on a board of directors: president, treasurer, member at large, those kinds of things. There will be an appointed executive director. Currently, Jamie is filling that role, and he'll continue to fill that role after the board of directors is filled out. And then there will be a number of volunteer positions and or committees to help work on particular tasks. Our plan is to hold elections, but to stagger the elections in terms of the people that are on the board of directors, so that there's some continuity that we can ensure, and to build in a requirement for a French-speaking representation on the board, because that came clear, loud and clear through the survey, was that one of the areas that we have to really work a little harder in is on French language representation. So there's an organizational chart, the board of directors with the potential 5 positions on the top, executive director, and then these committee members these aren't set in stone by any stretch of the imagination. There are jobs that might need to be done. There are other jobs that might need to be done. Maybe they could be handled by a single person. Maybe they could be handled by a committee. Those things are all to be decided. But just to give a bit of a visual on what we expect might be happening, there it is.
So to sum up, our first major step is, of course, the membership drive. So look for that in the coming months. We'll have information posted all over the place through Voyager's social media and anywhere literally that you go for your information, but also on the Voyager's website, voyagers.org. This is a brand new website where you can find our updated code of conduct, Voyager's history, about us, and the survey summary if you were curious about some of the results from the summary itself. And then, as I mentioned, if you want to join that email list, the email that you can send your information to is right there. And yeah, now that we've gone through all of this stuff, let's get to the interviews. So first up, we have our friend Kevin Laramie from Montreal, who will be
sorry, hold on a second. We have Janine Becky first.
No, we said we were going to do...
Didn't we say we were going to do Janine first, and then we're going to do the French?
Oh, English, the sandwich. See, this is why we do this. I need to put that in my notes.
That's okay.
Oh God, I have it right there, and I literally just skipped a line and missed it because I have it backwards. I have it backwards in the line before, and then I have it correct. Okay, all right.
You mean you wrote it backwards? That's quite a skill.
I know, I'm very talented. All right. Well, now that we've gone through all that, now let's get to some of the fun stuff, which of course are the player interviews. So first up, here is Rob and myself interviewing Miss Janine Becky on International Women's Day, no less.
Thank you, Janine, for joining us. And since it's morning here, I see perfect. See, I have my coffee. I feel like we're on an episode of Brewing with Becky.
Hey, yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So that was one of the first things. Hold on.
Okay, good enough with that, right?
Sure.
Okay.
And now, wasn't that an awesome video? She's so much fun to talk to. And if you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, I do highly recommend it. There's a lot of really great interviews that she's done with national team players, but also her teammates from City. So definitely worth your time. So now we have Samuel Piet, and the first interview that's going to come up is our friend Kevin Laramie from the Sports Podcasting Network in Montreal, and he will be doing the first part of the interview with Sam en français.
Parfait. Donc, on va commencer en français, Samuel, en passant. Bonjour, ça va bien?
Salut. T'as une belle vue de chez toi, en tout cas?
Ouais, j'aimerais ça dire que c'est chez moi, là, mais mettons que... Un beau studio.
All right. So I hope you guys really enjoyed those interviews. We had a lot of fun doing them. Yeah, they were both awesome, weren't they, Rob?
Yeah, they were great. And, you can certainly tell that both of those two are very well spoken. They've been pretty candid about certain things. And, it's very easy to support players when they have such great engaging personalities. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. We were glad to have. I know everyone was like, "Oh, who are you guys interviewing? Who are you interviewing?" And well, of course, our list was this long, but
yeah,
those were both players that we were pretty excited to get to talk to. So
now we just have to wait for Matt to send us some questions to answer.
I think he said he wasn't going to put any in there, but for later. But maybe I was wrong.
We'll see.
Anyway, so now that the interviews are done, it's time for us to answer your questions. As I mentioned earlier, please be gentle. You might know us, and hopefully you like us. So don't just ask. Yeah, it'll be fine. What was that? Why are we asking for a membership fee? Okay, that's such a good question. And one that we knew someone was going to ask, and we understand why you're curious as to why we're charging for it. Well, simply put, it costs money to do this on a large scale. And to do it really well, going into the future, especially looking towards the World Cup in 5 years. And as we said in the intro, Jamie paid for a lot of things over the years out of his pocket and did not anyway, it's been kind of crazy, and we need to change that. We need to be self-sustaining, not Jamie sustaining. So but we have merchandise to pay for. We have um sorry, I'm trying to scroll back to Al's really good answer.
Oh well, I mean, there's always expenses. One of the expenses is web hosting,
Yes,
right?
thank you. Web
That's always
hosting.
something that's cost a lot of money. We're going to send out membership packages; those cost money. But then just having money around so that you can front the cost for things like merchandise without having people pay out of pocket and then eventually get paid back, whether or not it sells or not, is an important thing. And contributing to TIFOs and displays and events, those kinds of things are all things that require money. The other thing I think it's important to understand is that any nonprofit organization, and this will be part of our organization eventually once we get the board of directors in place and whatnot, is required to produce financials, and those things aren't things that can be hidden. So if a year from now or a year and a half from now or whatever, there's money left over for things, or there isn't enough money or whatever, it will all be transparent and reported at an annual general meeting in terms of what money was used where and why. And so, membership fees are on their way. Virtually everybody in the survey said, yes, we're willing to pay a membership fee. We're not going to make it super exorbitant. I shouldn't say we. It might not even be you and I, Kristen, that are making these decisions. But the membership fees are there to cover things that really have been mostly covered by Jamie out of his pocket in the past. So that's something to consider when we're considering why we have membership fees.
Exactly. And it puts us on a much better footing going forward. Gives us the ability, not can we do something, do we have to pass a hat around before a game kind of thing? Because that's happened too. We've literally done, we've done donation drives to get banners made, to get merchandise made, to do all sorts of things, and things that we want to do for the players even. We have, things that we want to celebrate a certain player. So all of that costs money. And as Rob said, it's not, no one's gonna charge you a ton of money to do this. Although we really do appreciate the people whose answers were as much as it takes. We love you. Thank you so much. That was amazing. We really appreciated that.
Not too much web hosting was paid for by cucumbers. Like that's a
no,
critical point here.
that's a critical thing to know.
Point.
Yeah, they kept rejecting the cucumbers. We're sorry. Rob, what about who put us in charge?
Oh, who put us in charge? Well, nobody really put us in charge necessarily. Jamie initiated all of this. And over the last 14 months, several of us have kind of gathered. He shoulder tapped many of us. And then some of us went out and expanded the circle a little bit. So I think it's important to understand that there are going to be mechanisms where people have input. So it's not going to be you and I and Jamie and the 7 or 8 or 9 of us who have gathered who are going to continue to make all the decisions. Some of us may want to be involved after the board gets decided upon, and some of us may decide to step back at that time and hand it off. But that board is the decision-making mechanism for the Voyageurs. So in terms of being able to become involved in the decision-making, people can run for board positions, people can vote, people can volunteer, and no decision is ever really final. If there's a big move to change the amount of the Voyageurs membership fee because it's too much or it's not enough, then that will happen through the political action of the board of directors. And so every decision will go that route eventually. That's the whole point of having this kind of democratic process implemented.
And then if you're curious as to who's involved, other than obviously Rob and myself.
I went astray from your question, your actual question.
You really did. That's okay. That's all right. I that's why I'm here, is to rein you in. So one of the things in terms of doing this is, it was to build, is to reform the Voyageurs so that it's something that will be stronger and able to put on events, to be able to host supporters, to reach supporters, now and in the years. And we're going to keep referencing the World Cup because it's huge. It is the biggest thing that will have happened in Canada for soccer in a number of years and possibly ever. You know, the Women's World Cup was a big deal, and we were so excited to host it here. But the reality is that the Men's World Cup, it will just be bigger. It just will. And we're going to, continue to work to make those things change. But right now, that's something we have to look towards. And so trying to do this, again, Jamie can't do this all by himself. That's the whole point of this. And he reached out to some people. And as Rob said, Rob reached, the rest of us reached out to others. So we're spread out across the country. We're trying to get as much representation in different parts of Canada as possible. And we haven't hit everywhere that we want yet. And that's what the elections will come with. So there's myself in Toronto. There's Rob in Saskatchewan. You're in Regina. And then there's Nikki's in Winnipeg. And Aubrey's also here in Toronto. And then Al and Matt are in Ottawa. And James is in, oh my God, James, where do you live?
Halifax.
It is Halifax. I remember he lives right in Halifax.
No,
he keeps moving.
He's technically in Dartmouth.
Thank you. I was going to say he's not in Halifax. That's why I hesitated.
He's just outside Dartmouth apparently now, or maybe
James,
it's still
which one
Dartmouth.
do you want me to say? Do you want me to say Halifax?
It's a really cool suburb.
Dartmouth? James, where do you live? Hold on, I have to scroll back down.
And then not to leave him off, of course, Jamie is currently in Vancouver, but
Vancouver.
He bounces back and forth from Vancouver to Toronto.
And then those of you who probably know young Sam. You want me to say Cherrybrook?
Cherrybrook.
I'll say Cherrybrook. Young Sam Gregory, who was part of this group initially, but before David Beckham scooped him up and stole him away to Florida.
You can't ignore Bex.
You can't ignore Bex
Right,
and stuff. Plus, we're hoping that we get like a wing in Beck's house for the Voyageurs for for games in Florida. So obviously, got to keep those connections up. Hammond's Plains.
That's right.
That's funny. So there's we're all people that are passionate Voyageur supporters. We're not more passionate than other people, but we are passionate supporters, and we have connections obviously to one another, and something we've been involved with the V's for most of us for a long time, and hope to be for an even longer time going forward in whatever way, whether it's just as a supporter or whether it's part of being part of the official framework. So you can find most of us on social media if you want to talk to us individually.
So to finalize this, if we want to wrap this up, like let's pretend that the questions are all done now. To wrap this up, do we want to go back to this final slide just one more time?
I think so, probably.
Okay.
Do you want to wrap it up since I apparently have talked through most of this? Yeah,
sure. This isn't the end of our conversation. We're going to try to reach out to people in the not too distant future. Of course, you have to excuse us if it seems like we're dragging our heels. We're not. We're just regular people with regular lives, and this is our volunteer work, and so sometimes it takes a little longer than we'd like. However, please check out the website. There are new and updated things on the website, like our code of conduct history about us and the summary of the survey that we did back in December. Please reach out via email, voyagerscan@gmail.com. If you want to get on the email list, we haven't completed that yet, and we haven't put it into action. Once we do put it into action, we'll be able to reach out to all of you much more efficiently, and then you can expect more regular communications from us. And of course, you can find us on your regular social media channels like Twitter. You can find me at FR the Black Hole, and you can find Kristen
at KZ Knowles.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us, everybody. It's been our pleasure putting this on. I know a lot of work went into it behind the scenes, but we were really excited to do it. So hopefully this is the first step, or one of the first public steps, in a much more active, active maybe is not quite the right word, but a much more able Voyageurs group. Robust, sure, to pilot us into the next decade of supporting Canada soccer.
thanks so much, you guys. It's been great talking to everybody. And yeah, share this with your friends if they weren't able to come on. Watch all of our other social media, outlets, or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube, um, various places. Maybe someday TikTok. We'll see. And anyway, thanks so much, guys. It's been great talking to anybody. And we hope to get to see all of you at a match or virtually soon. We miss you. We miss you guys.
Please let a live match happen where we can actually be in the stands. That would be lovely.